Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Thinking in West North. The map's name is Hamlets, and my opponent's name is Kira1. And it seems I will be playing Loyalist today. At least this is what I randomed. And my opponent is. I have no idea what he is. However, this is a particularly interesting map in the sense that it's very aggressive. I mean, maybe interesting was not the best term. Maybe some players don't like aggressive, but I particularly do. And as you can see, the rush distance here is not that large. The rush distance here is not that large, so it's always like this tension between the two sides, and the flock of units keep increasing, and then the two flocks of units from both sides just clash, and then there's a victor. Most of the times, of course. But it's all about where and when does the fight take place. This is what I feel this map is all about. Because once the fighting starts, it's just the distances are so small. So once the fighting starts, it feels like you have nowhere to run, nowhere to retreat. Well, at least this is my take on this map based on the few games that I've played on it. I'm really excited by the fact that we are playing Default Era, and I am going to show you guys how to abuse Loyalist on Default Era. Now, there was some balancing moves made in Ladder Era, simply because Cavs were too powerful. Now, this does not mean that you go and recruit Cavs immediately. No, you have to, play the violin, make a really high quality song with your recruits, right? Cavs will be predominant in your army eventually. However, it does not have to be immediately, because then you might die to a silly rush. So spearmen are important, so I highly recommend recruiting 4 or 5 as many of them as possible in the beginning. Why? Because spearmen are pretty good units. They are also great at keeping villages. They are cheap. They give you good value for money, and because they are relatively slow compared to Cavs, so when day comes, you will have a bunch of spears forward. Well, you actually want to attack here. You will have a bunch of spears forward, and then the Cavs can come and catch up. That's why I say 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's why I say recruit as many spears as possible in the beginning. Intelligent quick. I'm not going to stop recruiting until I get a resilient spearman. That intelligent quick, that's an absolute useless unit. Resilient intelligent, that's better for keeping villages. However, this intelligent quick unit should be able to do something, I don't know what, on the other side. Now, in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to recruit another spearman here. Resilient intelligent. I am reasonably happy. I would have liked a strong spearman as well, but resilient is fine. This is what we were looking for. Now, I will need a cav. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, you have two options. You can either recruit a classic cav, which is a bit more defensive. In case the enemy is orc, then a horseman will be absolutely useless during the first night. Or you can go more aggressively and you can recruit a horseman, right? And that would be extremely useful when attacking. Now, I'm not sure. I don't particularly like my spearmen. And if I had a strong, resilient one, I would have maybe gone with a horseman. But since I don't have that, I will go with a more conservative cavalryman, which is resilient, strong, and this is what we were looking for. Now, I'm happier than I was initially when I saw this intelligent quick spearman, and I'm gonna go ahead and recruit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I messed up a bit. I was so concerned about my resilient, strong spearmen that I messed up a bit, and I won't be able to reach this particular village with a cav unless this cav is quick. So we have to focus get a quick cav maybe. There it is, quick resilient, but I must say that was lucky. We should have recruited the cav here. So there was, this spearman doesn't do anything anyway. This could have been here. So luck is on our side at this point. Not sure now. I feel like I should be recruiting another unit simply because if my opponent is rushing, I do need another unit to be well positioned, right? To defend the rush. However, I am not going to do that. I am going to play it cool for a while because this cavalryman will be able to scout and I will be able to either recruit another cav or another spearman or even an infantryman, depending on what is coming my way. Pretty boring recruit if you think about it, spears and cavs, but again, boring doesn't necessarily mean inefficient. So we are playing to win. We are playing to be efficient. We are playing to leverage absolutely every advantage of our faction against our opponent's faction, right? So, of course, I could have recruited some mages. However, mages at this stage, believe me, they are pretty useless. And this is coming from a player that likes to take risks. Anyway, it seems pretty, our opponent was pretty quick, so he must be really comfortable with his race. I'm really curious what faction he has at this point. Definitely here, definitely this. Can't see because this is not a quick cav, not a problem. I do have a quick cav on this side of the map. Now I will put the intelligent one here and I'll put this forward just so I can see. Not that it matters that much. And again, I can't really see what to recruit because I can't really see. I am tempted to recruit one of these two. A horseman, simply because it will always come in handy, right? Or in case my opponent is orc, and this is, I think, the only race that could defeat me, I might recruit another spearman. However, my opponent might be undead. In this case, you might think that spearmen are a bit useless. However, they are not, because they can counter adepts pretty easily. So as long as you use them correctly, there is still some use for spearmen. In case my opponent is anything else, a spearman would be absolutely amazing. And I'm not really sure at this point what I should be recruiting. Now, given the fact that my opponent played so quickly, I would say that he's very comfortable with his faction again. So I am half tempted to go for another spearman. That would not really help my unit diversity. Really puzzled here. I don't know what would work best. I would definitely put the cav here between these villages. But I feel this quick, intelligent spearman is not perfect to hold the village. Therefore, I'm going to recruit another spearman, hoping that it is at least strong or at least resilient, but not intelligent quick. And it is, again, quick intelligent. Okay, so basically, the gods of RNG, the random number generator, are telling me, Neki, you should have been more aggressive. What is wrong with you? Recruiting this amount of spearmen that is not healthy for you. It's not doing you any good. So I am happy to oblige. I will be much more aggressive with my recruits from now on. It's obviously not particularly imaginative to get stuck recruiting spearmen. However, it's not particularly bad either, and I am actually happy with my spearman recruit. This is going to be an absolutely fabulous game, I can tell you. I'm going against Dwarf and I will be putting a ton of pressure. Dwarf can't really attack versus Loyalist. I mean, he can obviously try with Outlaws, but this doesn't impress me, and I'm actually happy with my intelligent quick spearman now as well. I will recruit another cavalryman and I will be able to form a line here. That would not be a problem. And I don't see myself having any issues defending unless he has gone like full Hodor style with outlaws only and one griffin for diversity. But I don't expect myself to, and it's a strong, resilient footpad as well. I don't expect myself to have any issues at this moment in time. There is the thief, and I will be scouting vigorously. Okay, not even that. So there's a dwarvish guardsman. He is quick, indeed, but I don't see him doing much. Can even push forward a bit, but I won't. Just would keep the cav here. Now, is he trying to move units around? I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Dwarvish fighter, intelligence strong. This is not the attack I was expecting. Therefore, I will be putting my resilient intelligence spearman here, since he can withstand a lot of damage. I'll be putting my intelligent quick spearman in the middle, simply because he can run left and right. However, this resilient intelligent one cannot. I will be putting this spearman forward or not. Well, I think I'll be putting forward. Why not? Just don't want to be taking any unnecessary risks at this moment. This game is, I would say, in the bag for me. It's only my game to lose. And I will show you, ladies and gentlemen, how to carefully take your time, plan your movements correctly, and crush your opponent when the time is right. So I'm not even worried about defense at this time. So he has a slow dwarvish fighter. He has a dwarvish guardsman that deals absolutely no damage. He recruited 2 footpads, which are absolutely useless. Oh, if I was scared at this moment, I would recruit another cavalryman, so I could basically stop his run by, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to pull a dauntless move, and I'm going to recruit another cavalryman. I wanted to go horseman. However, I feel that this game is going to flow in my favor. Therefore, there's no reason to take any risks. I'm just going to make absolutely sure I'm 100% safe during the first night. I am even going to pull my cav. Not even necessary, I would say. I will leave the cav where it is. So I would say now is the time to abuse cavs, right? I have resilient intelligent. Okay, resilient intelligent, the quick spearman in the middle, 2 cavs giving me vision, but of course they also give me damage. Resilient strong, 40 HP. That is an insane amount of damage, an insane amount of HP for a scout. I mean, look at this resilient intelligent, only 41 plus. This gives you a lot of resistance, right? So if you look at the cav itself, 40% resistance to impact. These are absolutely beasts versus footpads, right? So this gives you a lot for your gold. So I'm just going to keep recruiting it. There is absolutely nothing that can kill my calves quickly. Therefore, I will be recruiting it just to make sure I make it through the night, and then I'll switch to horsemen. And that's basically it. That should help me attack. However, I shouldn't be too slow in planning my attack, simply because he can put guardsmen, and I'm not talking about intelligent quick guardsmen, I'm talking about resilient or strong guardsmen in his villages. And then he can have a lot of dwarves in these mountains and hills, and he can have these footpads, which are not scary. However, they can be on 70%, which is not, again, it's not scary, not particularly scary, but incredibly annoying, right? You can't really kill them unless you bring 2 mages, and then he brings an oath for your mages, and then it's just never ending. So I shouldn't be too, let's say, relaxed. I should be realistic in terms of my attack. I do need to put a lot of pressure during the first day, and I need to make sure I have the right unit composition to do that. And I would need basically 1 horseman, 1 fencer, and 1 mage. The mage, for obvious reasons, I would need to basically have a magic attack to be able to fight against a high defense, right? But then he has a particularly cost-efficient unit to fight by mage with, which is the Oathsucker. So I would need to basically kill that Utsuka with a fencer, right? And then I would need a horseman because of the sheer damage it deals, right? So it's only logical that I recruit those 3 units. I can't really attack without those 3 units. At least this is how I feel the game to be. He has a really timid approach here. As you can see, he's not really sure whether to go left or right. I can go either way because of my cav, another cav. This is also a quick intelligence spearman, so he can also go either way. I don't see him doing much on this side. And if he is smart, and Kira 1 is a pretty smart opponent, he should be banking at this point and getting another guardsman and another griffin, I would say. Maybe not another griffin, maybe 2 more guardsmen and more fighters, more dwarves. He should be transitioning into a dwarf heavy army. Otherwise, he's going to be into a heap of trouble when dawn comes. So he is deciding to switch to the left-hand side, and of course, I don't blame him. And now I'm going to do something. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should be good enough, shouldn't it? 7. Okay. So I should be able to scout a bit. Okay, I've scouted a bit. I see that there is absolutely nothing coming. So I'm going to now activate delay shroud updates, I assume. So let's hope I activated it, by the way. So now I can go here. Then can I click undo? No, I can't because I haven't activated it. Apparently, I am a noob. Doesn't matter. This particular cav is going to be vulnerable to to backstab. So I am going to do something about it, obviously. I am going to form a particularly interesting formation, which is this one over here. Going to be bringing my quick, intelligent, apparently useless unit here. But trust me, it's not useless at all, because look, it prevents the Griffin Rider from surrounding my cav. And at the same time, I will be closing in on the... Again, I shouldn't be going too defensive, I feel. So he has absolutely not enough damage to kill this particular spearman. Without backstab, his attack will do absolutely nothing. I'm going to place this cav here, prevent any shenanigans with the griffin, and he's not going to do anything. However, I'm going to scout. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. Nothing happening here. He has absolutely no units on this side, which is interesting. I feel that I could even be a bit bolder. There it is. So this is just, again, look at my wonderful assistant while I pull the rabbit out of the hat. So this is nothing. This is basically a Neki attack. So basically he's faking the fact that he is strong. And at the same time, he is desperately preparing his defense. And I can see that with my cav. Obviously, he won't be able to cut off his retreat. So I'm even going to push forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if he does anything with this particular dwarf, which he shouldn't be able to, I will. Basically, I'm doing a Neki attack on the right-hand side. I'm applying some pressure here just to see how he reacts. Plus, I don't feel like going back. Okay, maybe here I'm a bit bold with this particular cav. Perhaps I should go a bit back. Okay, now this one is a bit better. You will be able to attack it from here if it does want to. However, I'll be able to steal this village. So I want to see how he reacts to this. And I will be preparing my attack with a thinking fencer or horseman first. Horseman, simply because I want to add more pressure. So for example, if he leaves his footpad, if he attacks with a footpad and gets some damage, some retaliation damage, then I will be able to finish off with the horseman. At the same time, I don't think I will be recruiting for some time because I don't see any other offensive units coming. I see only a guardsman at this point. So I'm thinking maybe further discouraging him with, okay, does he want to put the griffin in the middle and prevent me from, perhaps? So there could also be a move of griffin coming in the middle and preventing myself from coming with the footpad on the village and then trying a backstab there. So from this perspective, I don't think he will attack. He will try to cut me off from this particular village and then move around. So from this particular standpoint, I will be keeping my leader on the keep so I can both attack in case this such movement does occur. However, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, if the griffin comes here, I can at least attack it with my leader. So I'm not particularly worried that he will attack head on into what I'm having to the left-hand side. Anyway, so it's night. This is my defense. Resilient spearman on the village. Intelligent quick on 60%. You can't have everything in life. And these annoying footpads threatening a run by. So he could just change direction again once more. And I will be able to adapt simply because I have 1, 2. Let's say this is a cav as well. I mean, he does not deal in nearly enough damage, but in case there is a stray footpad with low hit points, he can definitely finish the footpad off. Anyway, I'm really curious to see what he does on this particular side. If he pushes the guardsman forward, I will steal this village, even if he recruits an Oathsucker, simply because day is coming and I'll be pushing all these units forward, and having a bit of extra gold to recruit more horsemen would always help. And he will, even with the Oathsucker, his Oathsucker might die. He would need to invest a lot of time and a lot of units on this particular side, and his unit composition, it's already not that brilliant. So 2 footpads versus Loyalist, that's not where you want to be. And as I'm saying that, probably I'll see these footpads getting 2 out of 2, being a 70%, deflecting attacks, being incredibly annoying, but that's not a problem. I think I can recover from that. Anyway, we shall see what our opponent does. He is basically at this point trying to impress me because he cannot mount a healthy attack at this point. He should try to graze my units a bit, I feel. So he should try that. However, he should be careful because his reinforcements are not that quick. And I can reinforce with cavs from this side. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units and counting. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units and not counting this one because it has 4 movement speed, whereas my cav has 8, 8, and this one has 9. So that is the power of cavs, ladies and gentlemen. It might not seem much, but if you think about it, I could put the cav here on grass and be absolutely fine. Imagine putting a spearman on grass. It would have been terrible. I mean, I would have given myself a heart attack. However, here with the cavalryman, again, this Griffin Rider has a, it's also intelligent quick. I feel sorry for him. This Griffin Rider has blade attack, and if we just see the resistance against blade, we see the resistance against blade is 30%. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. So I can tell you he will not attack my cav. He might attack my quick intelligent spearman. However, he cannot kill the spearman. He might get a lot of retaliation damage, and this is an expensive unit, whereas my spearman only cost me 14 gold. So I will happily exchange a spearman for a Griffin Rider any time of day. So I'm sure there's a lot of planning going on in the background. Now I'm going to teach you, ladies and gentlemen, how to activate delayed shroud updates. So if we go to preferences and we go hopefully to advanced, hotkeys, delay shroud updates, and I am going to map this to A. Apparently not. A. Okay, great. So delay shroud updates, what it does, you've seen how I move my cav forward and gather new information as the shroud is removed and new information is being revealed to me, right? You've seen that. Well, if I press A now, that particular shroud update would be delayed in the sense that even if I move my cav forward, I won't be able to gather that information. Therefore, it's safe for me to undo the move, right? Because if you gather the information, if you scouted, right, it wouldn't be fair towards your opponent that you could undo your move. However, if you did not gather any information, you're just planning your defense or your attack, then obviously there is there is no harm in clicking undo. So sometimes it's best to delay shroud updates in order to organize your defense. Now, he's basically saying, okay, I'm not going to attack. I was just kidding. Please don't do anything silly on this side. I fully agree with him. He can't really attack. So I see the unit composition, strong, healthy, dwarvish, thunderer. That is fine. Remember, I need to recruit a mage and also a fencer, right? So I might not have money for the mage. So this attack might be a bit difficult. I could bank a bit and I could buy a mage. So I would have 33 gold. However, I would have 13 gold next time. So I do feel like I should bank a bit and get the mage. Just one, just to make him fear the mage. Not necessarily, so he should fear it, right? He should not necessarily, I mean, that particular mage should not do wonders. It cannot do wonders by itself. But at least in case he has the 70% dwarvish fighter on the mountain, the mage can at least, give him some second thoughts about what he's doing with his life. Anyway, this is going to be, it's what it seems like, a long game. However, I do not intend, so I do have a quick intelligent, resilient intelligent, and intelligent quick. And I'm going to push this unit forward. I need to gather information regarding what is ahead. I'm not even going to keep these units on villages. I am going to okay, maybe I'm going to keep this one on the village. I feel that a mage would be in order. However, I don't think I have time. First watch. So let's say I recruited that second watch, then the mage would be 1, 2, 3. So I'll be recruiting the mage later. Changed my mind. I'll be bringing the fencer now. Why? Because the fencer can actually do something, put some pressure during my next attack, right? And it's also quick. It can switch sides easily, and then I can bank a bit more in order to fine tune the unit composition based on what dwarf is doing. But if I wait for the mage would never be used during the first day attack, so might as well not do it. Might as well do an attack with a horseman, solely relying on the horseman and on my spearman to deal some damage. He will be able to make a huge front line here. So we shall see. I am planning to force him to recruit more defensive units, and I shall see what comes of it. So it will be first watch. That is fine. I'm really not in any hurry at this point. I am going to put my cav forward. I don't know why I took this cav so far away, to be honest. Shouldn't have, probably. And I'm going to do something like this. Okay, there is the opportunity for a backstab here. However, he does not have any units to follow up. I am highly certain he will not take this backstab opportunity. I am just, again, making sure my units are in a passive-aggressive stance, making sure that I'm able to scout with this cavalryman as much as possible, making sure that this cavalryman is also able to scout, and I will be, again, making an attack, making an appearance at these villages, perhaps also put the calves in the middle so the calves can go either way. I probably won't do much this particular day because I don't have a mage, and this will come back to hurt me. But we shall see. I don't think he will have too many units to defend by the time I get there. So also, if I force a lot of dwarves, you won't be able to go back and forth. So I will be able to even recruit 2 mages for next day and 1 more fencer. Why 1 more fencer? Because with mages you have to be wary of dwarvish Oathsakers. Well, with this being said, I'm really curious how my opponent plays it. So because this is going to take a while, it seems he's going to take his time to organize his defense. Just going to pause for a second. So it seems my opponent has decided to move, and he is being particularly defensive. Can't really blame him with dwarves. And I am going to scout a bit. Okay, so there are his units. I can't really see what he recruited. However, I don't need to. I believe he recruited some more dwarves at this point. Now, I am going to be a bit courageous, because I know he is not going to attack into that. And I want to make sure that he knows that I am willing to take my calves on either side, right? So I want him to fear both sides. In terms of what he could do, couldn't do much. Could push this forward. Yeah, he can't do much. So let me see. 1, 2. There is another Thunderer. So I'm actually thinking of recruiting even 1 more Fencer, because these, or another Horseman at this point, because they are great targets for horsemen. Not sure I agree with his recruits, especially when defending. Those are not particularly useful. Now, in terms of what he can do, he cannot backstab this cav. He could go on the mountain, but then the griffin would have told his story. I'm not going to recruit another round simply because, so if I want to end the game right here, right now, if I wanted to do that, I would recruit another round. Now, the thing is, what would he use in the middle here to defend? He would put the griffin, he would put the footpad. That would be my target, right? So from this perspective, I might have a chance because he has a wide area to defend here, and he does not seem into position to do so. So if I leverage this, I would recruit right here, right now, another fencer, right? Because I wanted to exploit this, perhaps kill a unit. However, he might just put the Dwarvish Guardsman, he might let it on the village, he might just put some units on these hills. So I'm not sure. Seeing these Thunderers, I am really keen, so 2 Thunderers, I'm really keen on recruiting another Fencer. It's just such a good unit to have. It's great for attack. And I just don't feel that I would have hoped. I personally would have recruited another guardsman. I would have had 1 guardsman here, 1 guardsman here. Maybe put the guardsman on the grass together with the griffin, because the guardsman takes a long time to die anyway. So because I'm seeing this, I'm thinking, okay, perhaps I can, okay, and it's also a strong fencer, which is great for oafs whenever they come. From this perspective, I'm thinking, fences, because I want to end the game now. I really want to make a push to end the game. I don't think he can organize his defense on this side. I might be wrong. So this is a risk. I should have banked for a mage. However, I'm taking a risk. I'm saying, will I be able to finish the game now? We show C, and you can see he was player 1, therefore he is the first one to have Dawn, and then I can enjoy Dawn benefits, and then if I make an attack at Dawn, then I will have 2 full days as player 2. Again, I'm putting units on both sides just to make a statement that the attack can go either way. So I see how he organizes his units. I am kind of keen on doing the attack on the left hand side, but we show C again. I expect an oath to come out as a recruit. It's great for finishing off stray units, but we shall see again. So I will just again wait to see how he organizes his defense. So I'll be muting myself so you guys can enjoy the way he organizes his defense at least. Okay, it seems there are some movements on the field. So indeed, he is relying on this Griffin Rider, which I don't. Again, this was again my idea that he will be overly reliant on this Griffin. Therefore, I decided to recruit another fencer, and we shall see whether I was right or not. Now, I could, of course, try to finish off this Griffin Rider with my Horseman. Would be dealing 18 damage, but that would, of course, not be enough. Now, it's important to scout, see what he's actually doing. 1, 2, okay, another fighter and the trapper leader. That's not very useful for him. And now I do intend to deal a lot of damage. Well, I'm joking. I do intend to get into a very aggressive position. He can backstab my recruits, not a problem. I do not mind. I just want to make sure that I get myself into an aggressive position. Now, he can't really shoot. I mean, he can definitely shoot, actually, my cav. No, I'm not sure here. 22, that would be amazing. However, again, I don't deal enough damage during dawn, obviously. So I'm just going to push this flock of spearmen forward, and I'm going to push as well the fencer forward. So if he's going to get on grass against these units, then I will be dealing tremendous damage versus him, at least retaliation damage. He can try to shoot me, yes, but then he will be in a world of hurt after he chooses to do so. Then the spearmen coming as a reinforcement against potential oathsuckers. Now, this cut off his army into 2. So I would say it would be safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Never mind. So I would say it would be safe. Ooh, okay, let me just activate. Again, I'm going to activate. So you see now I activated Delay Shroud update, so I can do this. So you see he can go behind me with the Griffin. However, he can't really take the forest. So, and I don't see him shooting with this particular Dwarvish Thunderer. So I'm thinking of dealing some damage into this footpad, making him have 1 less shield on the battlefield. So plus it's only 3 damage in return, and of course I don't deal absolutely any damage, so not a problem. We'll probably move everything to that particular side. Don't think anything can reach me at this point. So we'll also move this particular horseman there. So it can go around, and at the same time it can go through here. So it can really reach, it can really have a wide reach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, in case he decides to push on this particular side, I can have my fencer go back, and then I'll recruit a horseman to deal with any shenanigans coming from this footpad or from this Dwarvish Thunderer even. So I am going to keep this into a forward position. Not sure though. That would be a good idea. We'll pull it back. And I will basically fully dedicate myself to the attack on the left-hand side, simply because most of his units cannot reach my cav. This cav can also keep the coast clear for my horsemen, and I have 1 fencer to reinforce, and I'm banking now because I don't have any other choice in order to get the perfect unit combination, and we shall see what he decides to do. Now, he has a bunch of options at this point. He can just go and shoot my cav, so he can do this first, and then he can cover his Dwarvish Thunderer. So basically this is the weak point in my plan. He can go and attack this, shoot it, and kill it, but then he will end up having a Dwarvish Thunderer on 30%, really, or he can try to kill some of these units. However, he only has 1 rifle. So yes, he shoots the cav and misses. And this is great news for myself. I missed 3 times, but he also missed once. That is the problem with rifles. It's either it's high risk, high reward, right? So you risk doing 0 or 20 damage in case of shooting a cav. So there's a big difference between 0 and 20. If he had 2 attacks, he would at least have done a bit of damage, right? But now he's basically all or nothing. This is the problem with the Thunderer. Now, as you can see, the footpad didn't deal a lot of damage in retaliation. However, it also has 60%. So it is a good mechanism for defending, right? So he was going to kill my spearman. He failed. Not sure whether he will keep going on that spearman or not, but this is basically the issue with attacking spearmen during the day. They deal a lot of retaliation damage. Well, provided only one attack went in, but you see now the fencer, how useful it is. It can go behind, it can even attack this Thunderer. I can also have my 60% shields right behind enemy lines. Okay, so he decides to go for with the Dwarvish Fighter. However, you see the Spearman dealt a lot of damage, and also if he decides to go with the Griffin, the Spearman is going to be the first one to get one shot in. So again, it will be a lot of damage. So I'm not sure that was the best option from his side to attack the flock of units that I push forward. I only pushed it forward so I can get better positioning in terms of going between his units and basically getting surface area on various objectives. Now, is he going to attack with the Griffin? That is the question of the day. If he feels that he's behind, he should. If not, then I would personally want to attack, because the Spearman, remember, it has first strike. He is the one to hit first. That was one of the reasons that I pushed 3 Spearmans forward. Even if they are close to dying, they will be the ones to hit first. Therefore, it is more or less guaranteed that you will deal some damage in return. Now, in terms of my objectives at this point, is kill as many units as possible, because it's morning and I will not get a better chance than this one. The Griffin looks like an incredible target. Not sure whether he will attack the Spearman or not. I pray he does, and I pray the Spearman gets one shot in. It looks like a meat grinder here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the leader 10. Whereas I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. However, I am the first one to attack, and this already looks less scary than before. I really wanted that Spearman to do something. Now I am really forced. I am kind of all in here. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units, one of which cannot hit. So I am a bit in a tough situation here. I feel that I have responsibility to kill this Griffin. It's really important that I do. This deals absolutely nothing, absolutely no damage. So from this perspective, I should ignore it. Now, in terms of this particular thief, I should be able to kill it with, if my units ever hit. I think so. I need how much? Okay, I don't even. Not sure here. I will get this intelligent one to deal some damage. Okay, that was good experience management. Now, in terms of a strong cavalryman, that would be the best target to attack the Griffin. It's a high-profile target. I do want to kill this Griffin. Okay, you see the Cav took only 8 damage from a 12 damage Griffin. That is the power of Cavs, and dealt serious damage to the Griffin Rider. Now, this brings me to the next item on the order of business. I can kill the Griffin if I am lucky. However, I would rather much use the horseman on the Dwarvish Fighter, right? Or even better, on the Thunderer. So if I can kill, I can't even reach the Thunderer. Never mind that. So perhaps I could just deal some damage on this Thunderer and then come with the Fencer. Well, it would be difficult either way. Not sure whether I should go for 2 hits from the cavalryman or whether I should risk it with the horseman. I feel like the cavalryman would be a bit more... Okay, it would be a bit stronger here in the middle. So you saw it dealt quite a lot of damage, and now it's a bit better for me. Why? Because I killed that griffin. The griffin was the unit that was actually keeping this defense together. Now, I do have one slot on this particular, and now I feel much more comfortable, right, attacking this particular Dwarvish fighter because he's on 30%. So 18, I have a lot of chances to deal damage. So I just need to do 2 with this particular fencer from 70%, which I did. And now basically the horseman should be enough to kill. Okay, I was a bit nervous there because if he did not get his first hit in, that Dwarvish fighter, as you could see from the numbers, would have dealt tons of damage in. Now it suddenly looks a bit better, right? Again, I have one unit close to the hills, but you can't execute everything perfectly, right? And I have my fencer. Now that was a big recruit, right? Because I told you I was going to imagine not having anything coming now. Now suddenly I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units, 7.5, because the trapper is relatively far away. Now it feels much better. Why? Because it's also like morale, right? There is a unit coming. There is a unit helping us, guys, right? So with this being said, seeing that he is going poacher, I am half tempted to go horseman. However, a mage is always useful, and the mage will require a long time to get there. So I might as well recruit the mage first. And then afterwards, I think another cav or a fencer. However, mage is always, again, like I said, it's a utility, not item, but unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I can even exchange hits. Okay. I have to remember with the... what is going on? Okay. Okay, never mind that. I should have probably attacked this Dwarvish Thunderer because the Dwarvish Thunderer is the one dealing damage. However, I was a bit upset at this footpad from last time. And again, the damage on the footpad was 11, to be fair. And the Dwarvish Thunderer would have other units to fight off at this point. Probably I should have gone for the 30% defense. I was running out of time. Only for you, ladies and gentlemen, focusing to explain to you my thought process, and that hurt. Let's see the second rifle. Will the second rifle hit? That's why I should have killed this Thunder and not let him go unchecked with absolutely no damage dealt in. But we shall see whether it mattered or not, whether this is basically the nail in the coffin for me or not. If he kills 2 units, I would say I am fine. You see, that's the problem with a rifle. One hits, one doesn't, and suddenly now he has a unit on 30%, right? So you see, this one is much better. He did not deal a tremendous amount of damage, but at least he did something, right? He has 4 attacks. So the poacher did much better than this particular Dwarvish Thunder. Of course, this one more than paid for itself. Now, not really sure how he decides to play it from here. You see, this particular footpad did not do much. Okay, that is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I did not expect this. He will probably put the footpad... No, he has nothing to put on the village. This is, I think, a blunder. He can't really reach the village. Perhaps he miscomputed. Perhaps he forgot about my cavalryman. But I personally wouldn't have played it this way. And now this particular Dwarvish Guardsman is at huge risk because I can use my spearman to finish him off. He was probably hoping that he could get his footpad on that particular village. Now, I'm not sure whether I should continue with my attack or move back. If I can kill the guardsman with these 2 spearmen, I will be able to move back. If I can't, I shan't. Now, in terms of this fencer, he is best used taking up villages. I don't feel that he has enough potential to deal damage. Perhaps I should kill the Thunderer because he's the one dealing damage rather than going for the Guardsman, who does not deal that much and also gets a lot in return. This is just me thinking out loud, and it turns out these footpads that are not that great in dealing damage. They actually did a lot in the sense that they were, they were shields. Okay, what happened here? He is trying to impress me. Well, I'm not impressed. To be honest, I can just start with this one. Okay, I'm not impressed. Now, in terms of my recruits, I would say I need a horseman as soon as possible, and I need to deal a lot of damage. That is really critical. What I managed to do here. I'm half tempted to do this because I need a village, and I need a difficult unit to kill on that particular village, right? So from this perspective, and also this Dwarvish Guardsman would be impossible to kill if I let him to go back on the village. However, you see Spearmen actually deal decent amount of damage, and I think this is not what I want to do. I should probably just use this particular fencer. However, fencers are best using to finish off units, so I will just finish off, hopefully. Okay, there is the Guardsman, and that Guardsman wasn't doing much, by the way. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. So what happened is basically I killed a bunch of units. I managed to kill the Thunderer, and I managed to kill also the Spearmen by taking this village, and then he managed to kill some of my units back. So we are in this situation. I obviously use this fencer here to steal this particular village. I had to take that course. Sorry about that. So now he is obviously trying to clean all my units, clean them up, and recruit new units. However, it would be extremely difficult since I got my Spearmen into the village. I got my Fencer into this other village. And as you can see, Spearmen are quite efficient at trading hits with Dwarvish fighters. And he will need, hopefully for me, he will need a lot of time to regain this particular village. And not only that, but I think I will be able to steal one more village, 2 villages. Okay, and perhaps I would be able to also get the kill. I'm not really sure. However, again, I took some risks and I did some good exchanges of units during the day, and it paid off. So it's 4 or 5, so more or less exchanging units. However, I have a Spearman on that village, and I have a Fencer pillaging left and right, another Fencer pillaging as well. I'm not sure whether I should sacrifice this unit or not, or whether I should try to kill this particular Dwarvish fighter, because there's nothing else to kill at this point. There's no other unit that I can hit from all sides. So 15, and then this would be 6-3. Okay, I'm not sure I can actually kill that unit. There's also the option of just pillaging left and right. So for example, I can... not really sure, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, what I should be doing on that front. I should probably be pushing my units forward. Yeah, that should be absolutely fine. And at this point, I feel that fencers are in order. However, I do want to rebuild my attacking potential for when they comes, and also my mobility. So that's why I'm recruiting this horseman, and I will be, again, I can't do really a lot of damage at this point, so I feel that the way to go is basically steal as many villages as possible. He will have a lot of targets to deal with, so I'm not even sure here whether I should attack. I feel that I shouldn't even waste time attacking. I should put my units into a clump. This particular Dwarvish fighter deals a lot of damage, so I'm not sure I should be going for it. I feel that putting the Cav in the middle of the field is the right way to go about this. I don't want him to to have a lot of experience. So I'm thinking of going for this particular Dwarvish Thunderer. Not sure. This fighter is intelligence strong, so I definitely don't want him to get the experience. Okay, I'm just going to try this. Okay, nothing happened. Not a problem. I am going to go for the Dwarvish Thunderer, deal some more damage. Or going to go for this. 5-3, however, it's just okay. I'm just going to go for it. No more thinking. Action. Okay, and that happens when you are taking action. You get a lot of return damage in. That was maybe a bit sloppy from my part. I should be dealing damage. It does not have the villages to heal. I should be dealing as much damage as possible. I shouldn't worry too much about anything else. And again, villages and damage should be the right combination. In terms of what I'm doing on this side, I don't feel that this particular spearman has enough speed in him to pillage. So I will just let him. I will just let him play. I will just let him play. At this point, I don't think I have anything else to do but to see him finish off the other two units and hope that these units dealing villages will survive for as much as possible. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I had to take some phone calls, but it seems that this game, I mean, to me, this game has been over since we made an equal exchange here in the middle of the field, because I have been basically stealing villages left and right from my blue opponent. And these villages are basically, I'm not sure how much gold he has, but he shouldn't have much. Let's see, he's prioritizing the villages. He's absolutely desperate for gold. He did not even kill the mage, which the mage is, in my opinion, a sure kill. So for this perspective, this mage can just go here unchecked, dealing damage left and right. So there are more damage dealers coming. I do want to have a basically more offenses coming, simply because they deal tremendous amounts of, I mean, not tremendous amount of damage, but they can run by and deal tremendous amounts of economical damage, right? Now, this trapper has 50%, so it will not be a valid target. However, this particular Thunderer is on grass, and I will go for it. I mean, I'm even going for 2 hits at this point. I don't care that much. So there it is, versus 30%, 3 hits from the Horseman. That must have been very painful. However, it was a risk that I was willing to take. Now, in terms of this village over here, I could take it, but it just feels that I could deal more damage now that it's day. So I intend to put my unit in the middle, some here. Although, just taking a village, making it a shore. Village is 100% damage. 100% of the time, your opponent is going to get less gold and you are going to get more gold. So from this perspective, the village is always the safest bet. In terms of what this fencer is doing, he is not doing much on this village. I'm thinking of maybe placing him on 70% and dealing some damage on his leader, soaking up some experience. However, I'm not, I mean, he could also go here, and then I could have the fencer dealing some more damage into the fighter, forcing him to basically defend one way or the other. So that could also be a valid strategy, right? This fighter is already low, so he would have one more problem to solve. Not sure whether I should get this village or whether I should basically try again for this fighter. However, this would be 60% this time, so I'm not very keen on doing it. I would rather go for the leader. But then again, I'm not keen on taking this village. I mean, he can take it, not a problem. He can also go for this fencer. He's again a 70% target. I have one village equals the other village. Why would I go in the middle of the fight when I could just stay here and just play village swapperoo with the footpad? Again, not really sure how I should play this. I feel that I am ahead, and no matter if I make some small mistakes at this point, I will still win. I feel that now this particular cavalryman could deal some damage. I could even bring him forward to deal with the dwarvish fighter, but since he's already in village and he will get 10% heal, I will leave it be for the time being. And we shall see how these, again, footpads don't really interest me. They don't deal a lot of damage. They can grab villages, sure, but I'm already doing that very well. And this particular spearman on this village is also pinning down this dwarvish guardsman. So he will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He will be, as soon as this dwarvish guardsman leave his post, then, okay, and he left his post, then this particular spearman can even grab this village and then the other village, etc. He obviously is trying to kill the horseman. Why? Because the horseman is the damage dealer. However, again, he does not have enough units to take villages, to kill off my units. He just has too many things to do at this point, and I am, spearmen. They are meaty units. They are not going to die that quickly. and also Cavs are coming. They are also meaty units. The reason why I didn't recruit Cavs in the first place is because he has these trappers, which are the optimal units to counter Cavs. So I did want to have a chance at surviving a bit more. In terms of what this guardsman is doing, he's probably trying to get villages back. However, that will not happen simply because I do have a spearman here to back up this fencer, and this particular spearman would just grab more villages. Now, in terms of what he can do now, he can't do much, right? If you're falling off a 100-story building at 200 miles per hour, and you are about to hit the ground, and you are asking me, what should I do, Neki, in this situation? Well, I would tell you not much, right? So it's really not much that he can do at this point. Not really sure what I should do. I should try to kill units, because every single kill hurts tremendously, right? So it's a pity that I can't really reach this particular fighter with the mage. So I will go for this target instead. Which again, I didn't deal much damage in the end. However, this can reach the village and can deal significant damage. Shouldn't have probably gone close to the mountain there. That was perhaps a mistake from my side. Now, in terms of this fencer, he's not doing much there, so he can grab a village. Why not? And I have more damage dealers on the way. And this is another village taken, and this is more damage, I feel. Okay, and more units coming here to slowly whittle down this guardsman that left his fateful village. And at this point, I feel that more spearmen should be in order to deal with these trappers. It was a really bad placement for the spearmen here next to the mountain. I feel that I could have done a better job placing that particular spearman. However, don't think it matters that much at this point. Really curious whether he has enough gold to recruit any units at this point. I can even push my spearman forward to put more pressure, even if he's 19 HP. I feel that he can do a lot in terms of, again, putting pressure on this village. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any kind of pressure is basically heartbreaking. No, I don't want to quit, and I do not want to surrender. It's heartbreaking at this point for our blue player. He just has too many objectives, too many worries, too many things to deal with, and he is not going to be able to do them all, obviously, with the limited number of units that he has. But we shall see if a comeback is in the making or not. I personally think not, but again, a random number generator is not done until the game is over, because you could theoretically keep missing and your opponent keep hitting, and then the tides may turn. Now, not sure what he can do. As I said, perhaps here -3, -7. I say random number generator and luck was more or less equal throughout this game. Maybe I got the hits when I needed them, and he missed when I needed him to. However, I do feel that I took calculated risks on grass. Dwarves are not particularly fond of grass, and I basically lured him onto the open field, and he took the challenge, and he paid dearly for it, as I was able to kill 3 of his units in one day attack, which turned out to be more than enough for me to capture some villages with my fences, and so to basically win the game. However, I'm not sure what is coming here, what kind of units he will be recruiting. I might be wrong. He might have a huge bank, although I am doubtful that this is indeed the case, but we shall see. Okay, he attacked the spearman. I don't agree with that, but again, he did not have any much of much choice. What else could he do? And now I can attack this dwarvish fighter with my 2 calves, and that's it, 2 calves. We shall see whether this would be enough or not. One of them is strong, so again, this should be enough, but we shall see. There's an oath. I don't agree with this. I've recently told you that the perfect counter to oaths are fences, and I have 2 of them, and I also have a spearman ready to grab yet another village. Spearmen are absolutely marvelous versus oaths during daytime. There is also a thief. I'm a bit surprised he has money for all that, because I have pillaged his village. I have been pillaging his villages for so long. I am extremely surprised he has the money for these 3 units. So, ladies and gentlemen, somehow, some way, I think blue might have crawled back into this game. It would be difficult, though. It would be difficult. It depends on, again, how many kills can I get at this point. And I have a ton of units reinforcing. So can these units deal the damage? Can I keep these villages for long enough to be able to bring more units that can actually perform kills? Can perhaps take these villages in front? Am I able to do that or not? That is the question. However, this is a quick skirmisher. He'll be able to take this village. This spearman will be able to take the other village, and this particular spearman would be able to block the guardsman. So he will have to deal with with units left and right. I don't see him doing that very well. Oh, he's not even. This spearman is. This guardsman is a bit odd. I'm not sure what he wants to do. Now, in terms of my choices, I could go here and okay, that should be enough. I only need 2 hits versus this, so I'm even going to go next to the mountain. Okay, apparently not. Okay, I only need 1 hit, but I could also die. Okay, so I got the hit. That is absolutely fine. Now I can keep trying to kill this footpad, but it hasn't been. The odds have not been very kind to me. However, there's nothing stopping me to keep trying. Now I will go for this guardsman on grass. He does not have a lot of defense, and he might be able to attack my cav. However, let me see if I can or cannot kill this particular oath. I would say yes, do it while I still can, while it's day. It's worth it, I feel, unless he keeps hitting me. That should be a sure kill. There it is. So now he has yet another unit loss, yet another problem to deal with. I'm not sure whether the mage can do much else at this point. I am half tempted to recruit another horseman. Not sure whether I should be keeping this mage here or not. Yeah, 9-3, but he also gets a lot of retaliation damage, so I might have to just get out of here. I could also take the risk. I'm not really sure. If I take the risk and if I deal some damage, he will heal most of it. Then these units are more or less bound to die with backstab, with the trapper, with the dwarvish fighter, with even the guardsman coming in. So I'm not really sure, but then if I do go back with this particular mage, then I will need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll need 5 slots to go back, so I'm just gonna go back. I have these 2 villages, 3, 4 at this point. I feel that it doesn't really matter, but I just don't want to lose a mage for absolutely nothing. The mage is fine here. Why? Because it's pinning down this footpad. If the footpad leaves the village, the mage will be able to grab it. This fencer is achieving the same goal. However, the fencer is pinning this footpad in place as well. So it's a pity that nobody could follow through. If the mage had attacked and everybody else would have been able to follow up, then it would have been fine. It would have been maybe a fine choice to attack the footpad. But as things stand, I think I am better off retreating the mage to safety. Now, in terms of the guardsman, he should have stayed in his village. I feel that he was doing absolutely fine. There was no reason for him to run around on 30% and basically get speared to a very low hit point pool. Now, this particular thief should attack the cavalryman, and this particular... Oh, okay, that was a trapper with marksmanship, and it seems he will go towards level 3, which actually has marksmanship. No, it's interesting. It's interesting. He is actually managing to stay in this game. However, I don't see it happening for too long because I simply have too many units. I mean, I have been exchanging units and I do have the villages. So, I mean, the logical thing to do would be to concede. Oh, and there is a present from the random number generator. This particular spearman will live unless this footpad will come and finish him off. But as I was saying, this mage is waiting just for that, and he is not comfortable. I'm sure, I mean, he will get experience into the footpad. That is actually helping him a bit more. But he will lose a village. But again, how many villages has he lost? He has lost a bajillion villages. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a scientific term. Look it up. What does a bajillion mean? It's not like I made it up now. It's looking more and more like a survival, right? You really have to appreciate Kira One's resolve by staying in this game and trying to make it work. He's managing experience close to perfection. He will put some experience into this footpad. Although the footpad does not deal, it deals 5 damage. Now I see it does not deal 6 damage. So now it might be my turn to do some experience management and level up this spearman. That would actually be ridiculous. But I am keen on trying to do it. So as you can see, I even have a hit here with the with the fencer. It is a bit dicey, to be fair, but let's see, 8. So I'm managing. I want to level up this spearman, right? So this particular thief cannot kill me in one shot, so I'm fine. So I need to get him to 8 life. So in order to get him to 8 life, I could have 2 hits with the cavalryman, or I could have 3 hits with the fencer. So from this perspective, I will try first with the cavalryman, see what I can do. Okay, I got 1 hit with the cavalryman. Perhaps now I should try with the fencer, get 2 hits in, get him to 1 life, and then I will finish off with the spearman. 1 hit is still fine. So 1 hit is still fine. Now all I got to do is basically not die and get 1 attack in. This is, ladies and gentlemen, if I do this, finally the game is over. It was over some time ago, but finally this would be the straw that broke the camel's back. So is it going to happen now or not? Yay! And definitely I'm going to go for the Javelinier. Why? Because Javelinier has has attacks, has melee attacks, and ranged attacks as well. Also, he's resilient to pierce. And there it is, the GG. So he's resilient to the trapper and the other trapper. Well, I agree. Lurlist does have a faction advantage over Dwarf. So this is what I said in the beginning. I'm going to show you how to elegantly and comfortably win with Lurlist versus Dwarf without doing anything particular. As you can see, I had an attack without a mage, and I managed to, again, go in the middle of the field and be absolutely fine during daytime. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you saw the game. It is finished. This is how you play Loyalist versus Dwarf. I even had the luxury of attacking without a mage, noticing that he does not have many units to defend on this flat piece of land, and it all came together because he engaged me on the grass, and I was able to kill a lot of units during first day. So I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, next time.